Yeah, as hard as like the 5:15 used to be. You got done, you got home, you could
Exactly,
still
yeah.
do your other
And you can
obligation.
read your.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to practice like at this time, you know, in the afternoon before dinner, and then just get it kind
Yeah,
of,
for me, that's good, and then you can go home and dinner or whatever. you have to do.
yeah, do the rest of your,
Your other jobs.
yeah.
Yeah, well, you have a.
All right, so we'll get started, and I do just want to let you guys know that I have a little throat thing, like I'm on the very tail end of whatever my daughter brought home last week. But when I teach, like I get this tickle in my throat, and when I teach and use my voice a lot, sometimes it goes out or makes me cough, and I hate when it happens. So I may use my voice less, I just don't want to have this. You've been in my class and it's happened. Yeah.
So no judgments.
I know. We can.
If I've learned nothing over all these years, it's that.
And so it's interesting, thinking about the theme for today's class on my way in, and we're coming up on a full moon and an eclipse, of the eclipse season, which is always this time where we're really asked to let go, because whatever changes occur really outside of our control. And that's the medicine of eclipse season. It's really let go or be dragged. And this whole past month, with the passing of my father-in-law and the memorial, we've had this really unfortunate situation falling out with my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law. And I've just kind of been really working on this lesson of you can't control other people. You have to let go of that which you cannot control, right? Like at this point, sometimes there are situations in life where what can you do? You've done all you can, and you just can't make other people see reason sometimes. And then coming in and dealing with this new studio space and different, sounds and things that we didn't have in the last space. It's yet another, I'm like, oh, here we go. Here it is, all in practice, right? That there's so much in our lives, most of our lives, is completely outside of our control. I think as human beings, that experience can be very frightening. And whether we realize it or not, we're constantly trying to grip and hold on to and control what we can. And I work with that a lot as a self-proclaimed control freak. So yoga has really taught me these tools and these skills to practice this, to be the eye of the storm, recognizing that everything that happens around us, the thrashing hurricane, is just that outside of ourselves. And how can we sit within ourselves and remain calm and steady and grounded and let go of that which we can't control, let go of that attachment. So we'll work with that today. So please take a nice comfortable seat. Sit up nice and tall and close your eyes. Welcome your breath. You take this opportunity to drop back and down into yourself. And become aware of everything that's happening outside of you. The sound of my voice, the sounds of the studio. Noticing that those things that are not within you are really none of your concern. And you let go of your attachment to wanting it to be different, or to your analysis of it. Instead, shine the light of awareness on your breath, on the feeling of your breath in your body. Following each inhale, each exhale. See if with every breath out, you could release some stress or tension. And relax your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Letting it get heavy and wide on the lower palate. Widen the corners of your eyes and let your eyeballs descend back into their sockets. Above any gripping in your hips, thighs, butt. Becoming a little more grounded in your seat. And perhaps here you think of one thing that's been on your mind or causing you some level of grief or annoyance. Something that's outside of your control, outside of yourself. And perhaps here you hold the intention to release it. To let go of your attachment to it. And sometimes the answer is that we're not ready to, and that's okay. Then please go ahead and bring your hands together in front of your heart. Let's begin our class and seal in our intentions with 3 cleansing breaths. Take a deep breath in. Let it go with a sigh. 2 more like that. Then gently go ahead and bow your head to your heart. Open your eyes, release your hands. Let's come to all fours. Just move your props off of your mat. Set up in a tabletop position. And move through a few rounds of cat-cow in your own time. From here, come back to a neutral spine. Pivot your right foot off of your mat. Extend your left leg back and place the sole of the foot on the ground. All of your weight comes into your right hand Inhale, sweep your left arm up, coming into a Vashisthasana variation. Roll your shoulders back, heart open. You could leave your arms straight up or reached out in line with your ear. Press into the pinky toe edge of your foot and lengthen out through your fingertips. Exhale, release, and find the second side. So left foot pivots off of the mat, extend the right foot back. Bring all of your weight into your left hand, reach your right arm. Same thing here, you could keep the arm up towards the sky or reach out in line with your ear. Stretch through the entire right side of the body. Exhale, release, and find child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together. Send your hips back towards your heels or hip to the make your way into downward facing dog. Pedal out through your legs, bending one knee, sending the opposite heel towards the earth. Inhale, come forward to a high plank, high push-up. Knees can come down or not. And as you exhale, lower chaturanga. All the way down and inhale up into cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, walk your feet forward to meet your pants. Exhale as you fold, bow over your legs. And then from here, we'll find a little vinyasa where you inhale, lengthen to a flat back. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Knees could stay a little bent here or not. Just moving with your breath. Press down into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. So we're going to take a wide, well, actually, not wide, but you're going to stand on your mat. So Valerie, you're good. And Susan and Carol, you'll turn that way. So you're standing on your mat long ways. And you'll have a block at either end. We're going to move through a couple rounds of moon salutations. Honor of the full moon and eclipse. And you'll stand with your feet sitting bone distance or outer hip distance apart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Interlace your fingers, steeple your index fingers. Take a deep breath in, reach down through your feet, and exhale, reach out and over to the right. And send your hips to the left. And here we're a crescent moon. The moon salutations move in a different way than sun salutations. They're slower, more feminine, more introspective. From here, inhale back to center. And then exhale, bring your arms down to cactus. Step your feet wide. Turn your toes out, come into goddess. Couple of breaths here. Press down into your feet, inhale, reach your arms up, straighten your legs, coming into star. Exhale, hands to your hips. Turn your left toes in, your right toes out. So we're setting up for a triangle pose. Send your arms straight out to a T. Reach your right fingertips past your right toes. Exhale, come into Trikonasana. Bring your hand to your block on the outside of your right shin. From here, we'll move into half moon. So if that's not your practice, you could stay just like this, or you could bring your left hand to your left hip, bend your right knee, step your block up and out to the right. So feel your back foot in, bring all the weight into your right foot, step up, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. From here, maybe left arm reaches up to the sky. Bring your left hand back down to your hip, step your left foot down, step your block back, and then from here, we're going to come up into a lunge. So your back heel will pivot up, and you'll inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, both hands come down, and then walk your hands over to the left, to the inside of your right foot. And we're going to come into a pose called Skandasana. Looks like this. You bring all of your weight down, lift your left heel up. You could be on the ball of this foot. It's kind of like this weird side lungy kind of place. So see if that works for you. Keep your hands down. If it doesn't, that's all right. We'll leave it for 1 second. And then walk your hands over to the left. Come on up into a wide-legged forward. Padasana. So that's 1/2 of the moon salutation. You think about it as the cycle from new moon to full moon. And then we complete the cycle, but we go back the way that we came, right? Just as the moon gets more illuminated until it's full and then less illuminated until it's new. So from here, you'll walk your hands over to the left and you come into that Skandasana again. So the left toes turn out, you bend to your left knee, shift your hips over that way. Lift your right toes up. That's it. Then you walk your hands around, coming into a lunge on your left side. So take your time to get there. You frame your left foot with your hands, back heel is up, you're on the ball of your right foot, and then when you're ready, arms reach. Exhale your hands down to frame your foot, and then find your block. Take the block in your left hand. We're going to step up into half moon on this side. So you could step your back foot in, bring your block up and over to the left, all the way in your left foot. When you're ready, Ardha Chandrasana. And then from here, you'll slowly and carefully step back into triangle pose, Trikonasana. Take your time to get there. A little bend into your left knee from your right wrist. Inhale, come all the way back up. Turn both toes out, reach your arms up in star. Exhale brings you into goddess. Inhale your arms up, straighten your legs, step your feet in. Interlace your fingers, pull your index fingers. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, reach out and over to the left. Inhale up to center. Exhale, hands to your heart. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths. And then come to stand at the top of your mat. And just notice the difference here between the moon salutation and the sun salutation as you inhale and reach your arms up. Exhale, bow forward and fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway to flat back. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward, high plank or push up. Exhale, lower. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Knees wide, big toes to come to touch, child's pose. Go ahead and find your way back into down dog. From here, we'll move into pigeon. So if it's better for your body to do a reclined pigeon on your back, you're welcome to modify that way. Otherwise, you can take your right leg to the sky as you inhale. Bring your right knee towards your right wrist as you exhale. Walk your back foot back in towards the midline. Work towards leveling your hips towards the front of your mat. Inhale, heart lifts. And as you exhale, find your expression of pigeon today. You could have blocks under your forearms. You could bring your forearms down to the ground or come all the way onto your belly. Notice what happens when we're met with tension in our bodies, when there's tightness in the hip. The tendency that I find in my own body is to try to control it in some way. Squeeze my muscles tighter, to tighten my jaw, to brace myself against this discomfort that becomes forefront of the mind. And yoga asks us to let go of that, to maintain as much engagement muscularly as we need in order to keep our body safe, our bones in a particular position and shape. But then to surrender. And we lean into the discomfort that we find. And we bring the awareness back and down inside of ourselves. And practice staying centered and rooted in what by all means can be a difficult process. You're very slowly begin to make your way back into downward facing dog. If you're doing the variation on your back, you could stay just like that and take a pause and constructive rest. If you're in down dog, take your right leg to the sky and open up the hip. Bend your right knee, stack the right hip on top of your left, three-legged dog. Exhale, release, and we'll switch sides. Left leg lifts as you inhale. Bring the left knee forward for pigeon. As you exhale, find your fullest expression of pigeon. Left knee is outside of the left hip. Give yourself grace that the sides of the body are not the same. And that what you might find here could be a completely different experience than the first side, good or uncomfortable. And the longer you stay in the pose, notice if you could strip away a deeper and deeper layer. Relaxing into yourself just a little more. Maybe that means that you unfurrow your brow, smooth out your forehead. Let go of any gripping in the jaw. Relax and soften your belly. Melt your heart center. Let go of the layer of tension that rests on the surface of the skin. Just a few more breaths here. Inhale, walk your hands back in, place your hands for downward facing dog if you're in the weight bearing variation of pigeon. Otherwise, you just find a place where you could pause. If you're in down dog, left leg lifts. Stack the left hip on top of the right as you bend the left knee. Exhale, release. Come down to all fours and then just sit. So we'll all find a blanket. You'll take your blanket that's folded like this. Here you go. You can have one mine if you want. For hiding. A lot of his studio. And so we're going to do what's called, you'll try this. If this is too much, we can adjust. But this is called a Z fold. So you just take the blanket and bring the fringe down and then bring it up and back, right? Like a little Z. So it's kind of in thirds, but it folds back in on itself. That's wonderful. You guys, A's all around. And then you're going to bring that across your mat, kind of give it a little smush. And then we'll do heart bench this way. So this blanket is going to come right behind the back of your heart. You may want to, especially if I'm very tight there, this always, and especially at this point in my life. So you may want a blanket for your head. That could help give you a little less of a intense back bend. So you'll come down, get the blanket right across the back of your shoulder blades. Bring your arms down into cactus so that they clear the blanket and could rest on part of the ground. How is that? If you're feeling a little high, yeah, let's do.
Think that,
Is that a little better?
yeah, I think I just have to get at the right spot under that. Thank you.
And with your legs, you could keep your knees bent with your feet on the ground, or take your feet as wide as your mat and knock your knees against each other. You could extend your legs long. See what feels best on your body. in these supportive, restorative poses, it becomes more apparent where we are resistant, where within us we have patterns of trying to control our experience on our yoga mat, which can simply show up as feeling the need to do the work to hold ourselves up, even though we're being fully supported by props and the ground beneath us. This could show up in our mind and our resistance to quote unquote doing nothing. Can you give yourself permission to just be as you are in this moment and with your breath? We'll be here for just one more minute. Take this time to check in and see if there's anything that you're willing to let go of, just for a few more breaths. Then go ahead and make your way onto your right side. Give yourself a moment to pause. You could either stay on your blanket or move it off to the side. And then take your blanket off of your mat and come back onto your backs. This time, take the soles of your feet together, your knees wide. You could place blocks under your thighs if this is too intense on your hips. You need a little more support. You could have your arms down by your sides with your palms face up, or one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And work towards surrendering to gravity. Inhale your knees back up to center. Take your feet as wide as your mat and knock your knees into each other in constructive rest. Bring your knees back up to center. Hook your right knee into your chest. Extend your left leg long on the ground. Flex your left foot. Press the back of your left leg into the mat and gently hug the left leg in towards the midline. And keep that. Take your right knee in your left hand, right arm out to the side, cactus arm T. Take a breath in. As you exhale, twist. Guide your knee across your body over to the left. Roll onto the outer left hip. The pinky toe edge of your left foot can come onto the ground. If your right shoulder lifts up off of the mat, that's fine. Just bring your hand to rest on your right rib cage. And then you can look out over your right shoulder to complete the twist. Inhale back to center. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh and extend your right leg up towards the sky. Press your thigh into your hands. Use your hands to isometrically put the leg back in towards your body and point and flex your foot. Make ankle circles in one direction and then the other. Point the toes on your right foot. Release the clasp of your hands. Bring your hands down to your low belly. Engage your low belly. Hug the navel towards the mat. And then very slowly lower your leg all the way to the earth, lengthening out of your hip. And then take a moment to pause and feel if the right side feels like it has more length. Go ahead and hug your left knee into your chest. Take a few breaths here. Take your left knee in your right hand, left arm comes out to a T for cactus. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, come to twist. Guide your knee over to the right, roll onto the outer right hip. Flex your right foot, press out through your heel. Feel the leg connect to the earth. Notice if your left hip is hiking up towards your rib cage. See if you could make more space there. Maybe you take your gaze out over your left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center on your back. Interlace your hands behind your left thigh. So not behind the knees, slide the hands down in the belly of your hamstring muscles. Extend the left leg up towards the sky. Point and flex your foot. Make circles in one direction and the other. Point your left toes, release the clasp of your hands, engage your abdominal muscles to put the navel towards the mat, towards the earth, and then slowly lower your left leg all the way down to the mat. Draw both knees into your chest. And then take your knees wide, bring the soles of your feet up towards the sky for happy baby. You could grab the pinky toe edges of your feet and either stay static or rock back and forth. And whenever this pose feels complete for you, you can make your way into Shavasana. If there's any other stretch that your body feels it needs before Shavasana, please feel free to take it. You can put a layer of clothing on, use whatever props you like for this pose. Take a moment to get yourself as comfortable as possible. I'll offer Reiki and Shavasana, which is just a universal light energy that your body knows what to do with. If you don't want to receive Reiki, you could just raise your hand now. Otherwise, you'll feel my hands on your head. Take a moment now and let the weight of your body drop down. Your arms stand by your sides with your palms face up. Move your tongue away from the roof of your mouth, the back of your teeth. Widen the corners of your eyes and let your eyes descend back into their sockets. Let go of anything that no longer serves you, anything that's outside of your control. Then give yourself permission to fully surrender into Shavasana. Very slowly begin to deepen your breath. Draw awareness back into your body. Do wiggle your fingers, your toes. Begin to move and stretch in any way that feels best in the body. When you're ready, hook your knees into your chest. Gently roll to your right side. And in your own time, find your way back up to a comfortable seat. Once you arrive, close your eyes and bring your hands together in front of your heart. Call back your intention that you set at the beginning of class. Feel free to modify or change it in any way to carry with you off your mat back out into your life. And take a moment to honor yourself for your practice, both on and off your yoga mat. All of those times you've stayed calm and centered inside of yourself, let go of control of the things that you cannot control, and all of the times when that was extremely difficult. Let's end our class and seal in our intentions with a final cleansing breath. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Gently bow your head to your heart. The light within me recognizes and honors this very same light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for your practice. Thank you. A wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to see you.
Yeah, it was so great to see everybody.
So you'll no longer have Friday class, you're gonna have Thursday.